So what it took me too long to figure out is that I don't actually really need to try to change the way I feel or what I'm thinking or my narrative about the world. What's way more effective is just raising my vibration. So it's fundamentally different than the normal kind of approach, right, that the mind has, because basically you're just thinking, oh, well, if I just think about this or figure this out externally, then I'm going to get everything, feeling good again. But that's not the case, right? Because basically the reason why you don't feel good is just that your vibration is low, right? Or the fact that you're thinking in a negative way. It's just literally a low vibrational problem. So like you're going to come up with every kind of excuse as to why you feel justified, right? To feel the way you do, or to think the way you do. And like, yeah, this sounds radical maybe, right? Because there's so many reasons why you could basically argue with me about this one, right? Because like, oh, this went really, really, really bad, or this is really terrible happening, and this makes me feel this way. I mean, I'm not here to invalidate your thoughts or your feelings. I'm not here to say that some things in life are just shitty, right? And that's you can't stop that from happening. But what I am saying is that realistically, it's a different strategy that is actually going to help you in the long run and help you actually feel better. So, because what's actually sustainable about feeling good is having a high vibration, for lack of a better word. Like what just raising your vibe right into a more aware state. That's what I mean, just becoming more aware. Because when you're down on the ground level, it's hard to respond to life. You're just going to react and you're going to feel like, ooh, really triggered by things. And you're going to just be aggravated by life, right? Because you're really identified with what's going on. You're basically like on a fundamental level, on a very, very fundamental level, you're like, I think I am this person. You just believe that automatically, right? It's not a questioned idea. Right. And that this world out there is all different and separate from you. And it's kind of like you versus the world on some level, right? That's an identified ego state. That's what that is. That's a normalized state of consciousness for the masses of humanity, right? It's not here to point the finger. It's just saying, hey, like, if you want to basically feel better, because that's all you're trying to do, right? You're trying to feel okay inside. That's what you're trying to do. So I'm not here to change the goal, right? The goal is the same. I'm just saying change the strategy. So just rethink your strategy. Because if you go around chasing everything outside of you or trying to fix what's inside of you, you just kind of like on this literally like a hamster wheel, right? Because you never really all you're really doing is looking to feel good inside. But these things are temporary, and if you get them, they're not going to last that long. And there's the law of diminishing returns, right? In everything, right? And I'm talking about whatever you're going to seek, right? So, and when it comes to the feelings and the thoughts inside, that's basically your reaction to your world, right? So you've got this image of yourself basically projected out into the world, and you're reacting to that. So you just want to raise your vibration. You just want to basically do whatever you can to start to see clarity on that. Clarity just basically means going deeper into understanding. Clarity can keep changing, can keep evolving, but it's going to basically look at whatever situation you're looking at it from a bit of a higher level, right? This is not like rocket science, right? This is just basic. This is like 101 on how to use your device, how to use your human instrument, right? You basically want to feel good on the inside, right? Basically, everything you're looking for on the outside is trying to feel good on the inside. So just get honest about that. And then now realizing that you can work on the inside, you can actually harmonize the inside, right? But that actually takes way more work than trying to fix what's going on outside of you or trying to seek and make this happen and all that kind of stuff. That actually can take a lot of work too, but it's not really gonna like just put the effort in the right direction, right? This is right kind of effort. It doesn't mean that you don't pursue your life. It doesn't mean that you don't get your career or your relationships or take good care of your health. Those things are all very valid. Just don't think that they're going to fulfill you, right? So it really all kind of overlaps, right? This sort of like you're not going to find what you really need outside of you. Uh, and the fact that you can basically raise your vibration to feel better about a situation when you're having these feelings and these thoughts, right? Just do what you can. So there's so many things. So on a practicality level, What are you going to do to raise your vibration? Well, that's really up to you. It's what works for you. Now there's you so you got to figure that out, right? It's like different diets work for different people, different activities work for different people in terms of raising up their vibe, right? So you got to experiment. So what are you attracted to, right? Like for me, I love deep breathing, right? I love actually holding my heart and just generating this feeling of loving contentment in my chest. I'll do that for hours sometimes. Uh, Hiking, I love to hike, right? Hiking in nature, wonderful. Going to the gym raises my vibration on a certain level. Now, some things are going to raise your vibration in different kind of ways. Some just give you energy. Some actually rise up your level of awareness, right? So, it gets to the point where you're gonna really start getting ruthless, and you're gonna really start looking for things that bring you down, right? It gets to that point. Like the beginning is kind of like you're chasing higher states, right? How do I feel good? But then you start to become naturally good as your default state, and then some things bring you down. You start looking for the things that bring you down. That's so the seesaw starts to sort of switch as you get more along the self-inquiry path, basically, and investigating into basically what you are, right? Like, because right now you're thinking, oh, I am this person, I am this perception, I am all these senses are separate from me, what I hear in the world. This is the individualized, localized state, which is bound to just basically suffer, as the Buddha would say, right? So you basically have to just start looking at that and asking yourself, who am I and what am I and how do I operate this device in the best way? It's actually a really simple thing to do, but we just don't do it because we're not taught in it. We're not society doesn't understand that, right? As a whole, it's all about achieve what you can outside of you, get what you can outside of you, and then you'll feel good inside. I'm just saying you're still you want to feel good inside, right? So just change your strategy. That's it. The goal hasn't changed. So this is not something radical or crazy or mystical. This is just doing what actually works, what's sustainable, what's going to prove to you that it works. It's a bit of a process. It's not a weekend venture because you got to basically this requires work. This requires harmonizing, refining your nervous system, right? This means forgiving people. This means becoming at peace with life, still taking action when you need to, but not being judgmental, being discerning, right? Like participating with life, use your free will, flow with life as well. Let it show you where it wants you to go, but you also have free will. So it's like this, there's a lot of components to this. It's a deep, lifelong mission, but it actually is what works and it's what you're designed to do. It's what you're capable of doing, right? This is like a superpower. You just got to tap into it. You got to realize the value of it, see what it's all about by starting to experiment with it, and then just follow that. Just follow that.